Alright, so today we're diving into a movie I had honestly never even heard of before, which is always a fun experience. I went into this one completely blind, no trailer, no synopsis, nothing. The movie is called Trim Season, and just by looking at the poster art, I had a pretty strong hunch it had something to do with marijuana, and yep, my instincts were spot on. The story kicks off by introducing us to a group of about 5 young women who are looking to make some quick, serious cash. They get hired for a gig during trim season at a remote pot farm. The deal sounds almost too good to be true. They were supposed to stay on the farm for just 2 weeks, trimming weed pretty much around the clock, and for their efforts, they can each walk away with up to $55,000. For one of the main characters, Emma, this offer is a lifeline. She's just lost her job, she's drowning in debt, and she's feeling desperate. So even though her gut is screaming that this might not be the safest or smartest idea, the financial pressure is so immense that she feels like she has no other choice but to go for it. Of course, as you can probably guess, the moment they arrive at this isolated farm, reality hits hard. The idyllic, money-making opportunity quickly reveals its dark side. The living conditions are far from comfortable, and the overall vibe is anything but safe. The idyllic picture they were sold is quickly replaced by a grim and unsettling reality. Now, what really drew me to this movie in the first place, despite knowing nothing about it, were 2 names on the cast list, Alex Esso and Mark Center. I'm a huge fan of both of them. They were phenomenal together in the movie Starry Eyes, which is a fantastic, twisted little horror film if you haven't seen it. And honestly, anytime Mark Center's name pops up in a movie, I'm immediately on board. I've been following his career ever since he was in Lost. He played Ray Plord, one of the Dharma Initiative guys. He just has this incredible screen presence. There was another familiar face as well, Bex Taylor Klaus, who I recognized from their role in The Killing and a bunch of other projects. So the cast alone gave me a reason to be optimistic. The direction the movie takes, however, is not at all what I was expecting. Based on the setup, a group of people isolated at a shady operation, I assumed it was going to be a straightforward thriller. You know the type. Maybe one of them sees something they shouldn't have, or someone tries to steal from the operation, and things spiral out of control. But Trim Season throws a curveball. Instead of staying grounded in a realistic crime thriller scenario, the plot takes a sharp turn and dives headfirst into the supernatural. This was a genuine surprise, and I have to say, going in totally blind really worked in the film's favor. If I had known about the supernatural element beforehand, I might have had different expectations, but the surprise made the viewing experience much more interesting. So, what's the final verdict? Overall, I liked it. I really did. I'll admit, there were moments where I found it a bit silly, a little over the top. But the movie had enough variety in its story and its characters to keep me genuinely engaged from start to finish. One of the things that added a unique layer to the story was a specific character trait. One of the women in the group has a rare medical condition where she can't feel pain. On the surface, that might sound like a superpower, a real blessing. But the movie does a good job of showing how dangerous it actually is. When your body can't send you those critical warning signals that something is wrong, you're incredibly vulnerable. It's a fascinating concept that added an extra element of tension whenever that character was in jeopardy. Another aspect I appreciated was the inclusion of a trans character, played by Bex Taylor Klaus. The film handles this very matter-of-factly. It's just who the character is. It is not treated as a major plot point or something that needs to be explained or justified. It's just a part of the diverse group, which felt refreshingly modern and normal. The acting across the board is really solid. Everyone pulls their weight, but Alex Esso, who plays the main character Emma's best friend, is a definite standout. She gets a good amount of screen time and delivers a strong, believable performance that grounds the more outlandish parts of the story. She's the anchor for the group, and her journey is one of the film's highlights. Now, let's talk about the central concept itself. The idea of how everything connects back to the marijuana they're trimming ... on paper. It sounds kind of ridiculous. It's one of those premises where if you tried to explain it to someone, they might just laugh. But the movie commits to it. It plays the whole thing completely straight, without a wink or a nod to the audience, and that's what makes it work. By taking its own weird lore seriously, it helps you suspend your disbelief and get invested in what's happening. For all you gore hounds out there, there's some decent stuff here. It's not an all-out bloodbath, so don't go in expecting something like Terrifier. The gore isn't excessive, but when it does appear, it's effective and well executed. The filmmakers chose their moments, and it pays off, adding some real shock value without feeling gratuitous. Most importantly, I found myself actually caring about the characters. I wanted some of them to survive, and that's a crucial element for any horror or thriller. If you don't care whether the characters live or die, then all the scares and tension fall flat. But here, the characters are distinct enough and likable enough that you become invested in their fate, which raises the stakes considerably. I wouldn't say I loved the movie. It's not going to make my top 10 list of the year or anything like that. But I definitely enjoyed it enough to recommend it, especially if you find the premise intriguing. If you're the type of person who can go along for a wild, strange ride and not roll your eyes too easily at some bizarre plot turns, then I think you'll have a good time with Trim Season. It knows what it is, a silly but highly entertaining little horror flick with a great cast and a unique, memorable concept. My one minor disappointment was that Mark Center doesn't have a huge amount of screen time. Given how much I enjoy his work, I was hoping he'd have a more central role. But he makes the most of the scenes he's in and still leaves a strong impression. So that's my take on Trim Season. If you decide to check it out, I'd be really curious to hear what you think. Drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on it. Did you see the supernatural twist coming? What did you think of the performances? Let's talk about it. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you spending your time here. If you enjoyed this review and want more content like this, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's coming up next. I'll see you in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos. Your support really helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.